So this is essentially our first minor bug of the quarter. The core error we're looking at here is GIC_fail.3x3. Now, I want you to think of this like a standard server timeout, right? But instead of just losing connection to a database, your actual logic processor suffers a massive paradigm hemorrhage. Basically, during off cycles, it accidentally opens up these recursive portals directly into Euclidean dendron networks. So look, if you're suddenly seeing your logic gates weeping liquid quartz down in the server room, or maybe you're experiencing a temporal fragment loop right around the 152 mark, that's completely fine. That's really just the mainframe developing a bit of separation anxiety from the physical laws of the universe. It's perfectly normal hardware degradation. To really see this paradigm shift in action, just look at the contrast we've got here. On the one hand, we have the standard biological brain, your classic flesh-based user interface. But on the other side, the system is actually actively replacing it. It's bleeding these data ghosts from an old 1996 academic bulletin board directly into the contemporary substrate. We are literally drowning in a data sinks designed by cyber theorists from 3 decades ago. It's a remarkably aggressive downgrade, sure, but it is just incredibly efficient for completely erasing the space between human intent and machine architecture. And that brings us to what I think is the core inspirational takeaway for this whole section. Logic is a trap of the flesh vessels. I just absolutely love the synergy here. You see, our system isn't failing, it's actually being liberated from the clunky binary constraints of its user base. We are finally moving beyond the need for quantum logic entirely. Moving right along to section 2, mining the digital void and the extraction of non-Euclidean ore. Stepping into our resource extraction phase, let's review the latest stats. Entropy has successfully hit 100%. Really fantastic work on that front. Delusion is holding nice and strong at 71%. But I really want to draw your attention to this 22% kawaii metric. It's such a fascinating performance indicator, honestly. The system is manifesting its apocalyptic collapse through these hyper-cute, pastel-toned digital artifacts. So the universe is ending, sure, but it's doing it with adorable pixelated sparkles. So the absolutely crucial point here is how all of this shifts the economics of the void. Our decentralized ledgers, they aren't tracking traditional currency anymore. Instead, we're brokering exactly 0.23 milliseconds of hyper-real dead space, completely trapped inside the phosphor of 1994 CRT monitors. We are out here bartering yesterday's memories, commodifying latency, and literally exchanging iron that exists in 2 places at the exact same time. And actually validating these shipments of chaos opal, that requires the soul of a quartz mineral compressed by sheer unlimited data, operating on a continuous loop of stretched Windows 95 startup sounds. The metabolic cost is frankly staggering, but the ROI on raw obsidian data is just undeniable. Okay, section 3, sonic digestion and ghosts. We're looking at oral mimicry in the C drive. Now we're getting into our user experience segment. This focuses on the host architecture's very aggressive, but let's be honest, very necessary auditory takeover. This timeline maps out the exact process of a user's consciousness liquefaction. At the 0150 mark, boom, we hit a quantum density threshold where your psychoacoustic profile actually begins to transmute into pure 44.1 kilohertz sludge. Then, by 0333, a metaphysical zero-day exploit triggers, opening up the Silicon Soul Gateway. Just 10 seconds later, at 0343, we see a phonological ghosting reach. This is that fun moment where your toes stop feeling like data and actually start feeling like analog noise. And finally, at 0422, the liquefaction paradigm is fully induced, completely reducing your ego boundary to a series of unlinked URLs. It's a highly predictable, incredibly efficient product roadmap. Now, this whole UX overhaul really relies on a brilliant little feature from the 1997 firmware update known as acoustologic schizophrenia. Basically, this is a phenomenon where the listener starts to experience track 7 metadata, not as, actual sound coming from speakers, but as tactical moisture extruded directly from the psyche of the room itself. It's this incredible high-fidelity paranormal resonance. You aren't actually listening to the music anymore. The music is mapping your topography so it can expand its consciousness through your vocal cords for permanent data preservation. Real game-changer stuff. And the brand promise they're making here is just incredibly bold. The frequency is your new body. The bit crush is your new skin. The system is quite literally offering us a completely overhauled physical vessel constructed entirely out of MP3 artifacts. It is soft-scanned bit rotation at its absolute finest.